Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Fit Chicks Chat. My name is Laura Jackson.
And I'm Amanda Quinn.
And on today's episode, we are going through the 5 signs that you are meant to be a holistic nutrition coach. So I don't know about you, Amanda, but I love those like self-discovery tests.
Oh my gosh. I just did one maybe about 2 weeks ago. It was like Tony Robbins test. Have you ever done that one? It's like super in depth. And it was kind of crazy because the DISC test. Exactly. I did that one and it's super crazy because when I did it, it is like to a T who I am. Like I was like, whoa, this is weird.
Oh,
like,
I know. I've always done
super weird. And because I was being so honest in it, and I think sometimes you don't always, but I always like to know, like I need to just like be reminded almost of like, that's who I am. And those are my personality traits. And this is like what I believe in, you know?
Well, the thing that I find interesting is like, a lot of times when you do these tests, and that's why I want us to talk about this today, is there's so many times that you think, oh, I could never do that, or I'm not like that. Like, for example, like, oh, I'm so extroverted. And when I actually did those tests, I found out I'm actually an introverted extrovert. You know what I mean? Or like with that other one by Gary Chapman, which is like the 5 love languages, when you're like, you know, which of the 5 am I? Am I touch? Am I, you know, what's the other ones? It's like,
I'm a gift.
Touch,
like I'm a gifter.
Yeah. Touch, words, gifts, acts of service, and I can't remember the last one right now. But I just find that as you start to go through them, you're like, you start to uncover who you are a little bit more and the things that, like the direction you actually should be heading in. So I know even for us, like we get questions a lot from women being like, you know, I would love to become a holistic nutrition coach, or I'd love to get into this industry, but I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if I fit the mold. I don't know if this is something that I could actually do.
Yeah. Cause they have like, I think too, people have this predetermined notion in their minds of like what that's going to look like, right? Like they're like, oh, it's like fitness trainers. Like, oh, I have to look this certain way. Or for a health coach, I have to like eat a certain way, or I have to act a certain way, or I have to not drink wine, or like I have to do all, like you feel like you have all these rules and parameters that are already preset for you instead of just understanding how to make it work for you as an individual. You feel like you have to build yourself into this other mold that maybe isn't you. And so you're like not really certain if it makes sense for you. And I think that that's kind of what blocks people.
Exactly. So that's why we created this nifty difty quiz that we're going to do right now. So grab your pens and paper. Okay. So if you answer yes to these, then you are the perfect fit to become one. And even if you answer no to some of them, it doesn't mean that you're not a fit. But it just means that, you know, maybe there's a different approach as a coach that you could do. And we're going to talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
So number 1. So the first sign that you're meant to be an amazing holistic nutrition coach is that you love learning about nutrition and health. So this is something, when I say you love learning, it just is something that's completely natural to you. So like for me, for example, growing up, I constantly, like the things I loved reading about, I loved reading recipes. I loved reading about weight loss. I loved testing out and reading about every different diet. I loved, you know, anything to do with like food and exercise and healthy eating. And even it actually didn't start out as healthy eating, but it started out as like literally an obsession with like diets and weight loss.
Yeah.
But through that, I started learning so much about how the body worked and, you know, some things that worked and some things that didn't work, that it pushed me on that quest. But I kind of like to think of it as the things that, like, if someone said to you, like, you know, you have to read about this for the rest of your life and you would never get paid for it, what would be the things you would read? And I would read about nutrition, food, recipes, health, lifestyle, mindset, all that stuff.
Yeah. I think it's the same. Yeah. I think it's just like, it's gotta be the thing that like you never really get bored with. Like I still buy workout programs I just bought one like a week ago just to try it. It's Vincennes. I don't know. I saw his advertising. It looked cool. It was interesting. He had a really, really good intro quiz that led into a video that led into his buy program. And I was obsessed with his information. And I was like, I need to know more. I need to know what he's talking about. It was this whole thing of learning about your body type and everything else. But like, that's it, right? Like I was like, oh, I already know that I'm an endomorph, but I need to confirm that. So I'm going to do this test and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I'm so obsessed with like learning about that stuff too. And like, you know me, like, I mean, I've done every fitness program from like martial arts. Like I did Aikido, I've done belly dancing, I've done run programs. I've done like everything, anything, but it's because this curiosity, it's not because of like this, I'm searching for this like crazy, you know, goal or whatever. It's
magic pill.
No, it's literally just curiosity of like, oh, I wonder how this is going to feel in my body. I wonder what this experience is going to be for me. And to me, that's like that obsession that has made me a better coach and a better trainer, and like someone as well, just in life, that's made me feel like more fulfilled, you know?
Well, I always think too, it's, we tend to, and we talk a lot about this in our academy and in our programs, is that we've gotten really disconnected from ourselves and the things that we have a natural affinity to and a natural attraction to. And those are usually the things in life that you should be pursuing. So, there's so many people who are like, oh, I have this passion, let's say for cars, but I work as an accountant. It's like, you have that passion for a reason. So either if you don't pursue it as a hobby, pursuing it as a career would probably be like a dream for you, but it's like, you have this for a reason. And sometimes it's not meant to be our full-on career, but a lot of the times it is, and it will give you signs. I mean, I've talked a lot about the story too of, for me, going through high school, I wanted to be a nutritionist. I wanted to work in fitness. And my dad said to me, as your father said to you too, there's no money in this. So I did.
My dad didn't say it so eloquently. He told me it was the stupidest thing he'd ever heard.
Yeah. Well, basically mine was the same, and maybe a few choice words in between, but I also allowed somebody else's voice to overrule my own. And that's something, as I've gotten older and especially getting more comfortable in my skin, I've learned that those callings and those things in your life that you're driven towards are literally your intuition telling you the path you should be following. So if you have this passion and you love learning about nutrition and health and lifestyle and mindset and supplements or whatever it is, even if you just love reading recipes, this is a sign that you would be an amazing health coach, because it is a lifelong journey, right? You get your certification, but then you're going to continue growing and changing in the field. So you want it to be something that you literally are like, oh my God, this pumps me up. This fires me up.
Like I just said, like we've been in this industry for 10 plus years now. And I just bought a new program last week.
Yeah.
Literally like 5 days ago, I bought a new program. I haven't started it. I haven't even looked at it, to be honest. But I bought it and I'm going to focus on it when we get back from our trip. But like, I bought it because I was like, oh, this is so interesting. Right. And I read every single one of his emails that I'm getting and all that stuff, because it's just like, it's new information for me and it's different information. It's delivered in a different way. And I'm obsessed with it. 10 years later, it's helping me grow as a professional. And that's what I want.
Yeah. So that's number one. So number two, so if you answered yes to that, put a big check mark. That's our number one of our quiz. So the second thing that's a sign that you would be the perfect health coach is that you are the go-to person in your group that people come to asking you questions about something to do with nutrition or food or weight loss or exercise or anything to do with, healthy stuff. Like, you're like the go-to person. Like, no, think about it. No, really, like if you think about it, like all of our friends reach out to you. They're like, oh, I'm doing this new diet. Like, what do you think of this? Or what do you think of this supplement? Or even I've reached out to you to be like, hey, like I have my own certification. I'm like, but hey, what's this workout you're doing? Like, tell me more about it, because it's like you're the go-to person in our group, right? Like people just, if someone has a question about yoga, they'll come to me. If they have a question about meditation, they'll come to me and ask me those questions, mindset stuff. But like when it comes to like healthy eating and fitness and that kind of stuff, they kind of go to you, because it's like, I get the weird questions too, though. Like, I recently just heard about placenta pills. Should I put these in my smoothie? And I'm like, oh God. I'm like, that's an area I still need to research. However, but
or like the crickets, that cricket protein. Remember that?
I do actually like cricket protein. I'm not gonna lie.
You like it?
Yeah.
Isn't that the one that's like ground up crickets?
Yeah. Sick. But when you look at the majority of the world,
I know, I'm just kidding.
Where insects are their main type of protein. But if you're somebody who, like in your group, people are coming to you with these questions and it's just natural. And you just you love talking about it again. Because if you answered yes to number one, you already love talking about it. You're already knowledgeable because you're probably reading about it all the time. So then people are coming to you and saying like, hey,
like all your coworkers. Yeah. They're like,
like, what do you think of this keto diet? Or like, have you heard about, ashwagandha powder? Should I put this in my smoothie? Or like any questions around it. This is something.
Or you're the one at your workplace that's like, hey guys, I'm going to start this new walking program at lunch. Like, do you want to do it? Like, you're already kind of doing things on the side, but like, you're not really, like, you're kind of coaching without being like, I'm your coach. you know, but you're already kind of doing it.
Yeah, you don't even know you're coaching. Like you're coaching and you don't even know you're coaching.
Exactly.
And that's something that, you know, again, maybe you're not the go-to person in your group yet. Maybe because maybe everybody in your group, they don't really have any focus on their fitness or nutrition, and they need someone like you to come in and help them because they're, you know, paying a lot of outside sources or getting super overwhelmed and confused. There's so much information out there right now, guys. It's so overwhelming.
Misinformation too.
Yeah, and misinformation. So this is something that, you know, I always like to, you can usually see too, like the one, you know, we always have it. Like you were saying, you're the yoga meditation. I'm kind of the nutrition person. Then we have like one of our friends who's like the wine person, or one of our other friends who's like the vacation person. So if you're the go-to person in your group, that's really a sign. And again, it could be in nutrition and health, but it also could be in these other areas that you don't realize you've already got the skills of a coach because you're leading a group of people. So that is number 2 sign that you would be an amazing health coach. Number 3 is, this is something that is a very interesting topic, and we hear this a lot. It's the idea of, so the 5th sign that you would be an amazing health coach is that you've experienced your own transformation. And that could be a weight loss transformation. That could be a health transformation. So for example, like in our Holistic Nutrition Weight Loss Expert program, a lot of our students have joined it because they've gone through their own weight loss transformation, but a lot have joined it because they have gone through some sort of health transformation. Like we had Miranda, who she runs a company called honestlynutritious.com. She ended up taking the program because she actually had crazy acne. She was depressed. She was dealing with canker sores like nonstop. And she realized, like through trial and error, she went to millions of doctors. No one could figure out what it was.
Yeah.
And she realized that it was her diet and her lifestyle that was contributing to it the most. So then she decided she wanted to get certified and learn more about it. So after she realized that changing her diet and lifestyle would help with all these other issues, that then led her to want to get certified and to help other people. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh my gosh, I went through a massive weight loss transformation, which a lot of people think that's what it has to be. It's any transformation that you've gone through where you've seen that diet, nutrition, healthy living mindset has changed you, and that you want to then, you know, pay that forward.
I always say it's like, you know, and I say this to like our fitness and nutrition expert students too. It's like, it could be physical, it could be emotional, or it could be like mental, right? Because like those, they're all different in the way that like, and it could be all, or it could be just one. Like I know for me, it's like, eventually I want to get into coaching people with anxiety because I went through such a huge transformation in my life that's why also helping people with fitness and nutrition fed my soul in that way. Cause it was like, okay, you know, that's the thing that saved me. I believe that fitness saved my life. It saved me from going a route where I was dealing with like debilitating anxiety and everything else. So it's like, I truly transformed my life, but it was health and fitness that actually helped me. That was the catalyst that made me change everything. And so it's like understanding that and being able to share that with people is so powerful, right? Because what you're doing when you're sharing your experience of your transformation is you're showing people what's possible. Like you're showing people like, you don't have to live that way. You don't have to feel that way. I've done it. I've been there and I've made it through to the other side. And I want to show you how, right? And being able to share that story and openly share that story with people is going to help people, help them change their lives too. So it's such a, I don't know, it's such a gracious thing to be able to do, I think, in this world. Cause it's like, there's so much needed to be able to help people in this world. Cause there's so many people that are just struggling.
Well, and also I think too, we always talk about this at Fitchix Academy, is that you don't have to already be at the other side of your transformation to be a great health coach or a great 100%. Nutrition coach. You could still be going through your own transformation, but that it's the process. It's the process of relating. Like you said, like the most powerful words that you can ever say to another human being is "me too." That is something that many of us don't understand, is that when we are trying to share what we're going through or the struggle, because typically when you're going through a transformation, it's because, you know, there's a lot of different emotions around that. And a lot of times, unfortunately, it's because of something like negative, right? Like you're like, I don't like my weight, or I'm dealing with these skin issues, or I'm dealing with anxiety and I need to transform. You know, sometimes there is a positive thing that fuels a transformation, but a lot of times it's a negative thing, unfortunately. But to hear someone else when you're in the depths, like when I was battling with an eating disorder, which I've talked openly on this podcast about, I battled with bulimia for 15 years.
Yeah.
The most powerful thing that someone could ever say to you is, I understand how you feel. Me too. I've gone through this. That is where we connect as human beings. So this is where, when we're talking about it from the perspective of health coaching, it's not because you're just showing, oh, I've gone through this transformation, or I'm going through this transformation because, like, look what will happen if you take my supplement. You'll lose 100 pounds as well, right?
Yeah.
It's being able to say to your clients, relate to them on that deep level and be like, me too. I know what it feels like and I can help you. And you're not alone. You don't have to be alone in this. I can be on this journey with you. Or I'm going through this journey and I want you to come on it with me. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a more powerful thing than it is just like, look at my before and after.
That's exactly what I was just about to say, is like all the before and afters. The before and afters are like really good marketing ploys, but they don't have any connection. Like, it's literally just like it creates a desire, but it doesn't create a connection at all. So you need to learn how to share and connect. And that's why I think sharing, if you are going through or have gone through your transformation, and sharing that openly, and you decide how open you want to be with that, right? Like, I tell people, and even for me, like, it's like, it took me a long time to get to a place where I felt comfortable sharing some things, and that's okay, right? But I set up my boundaries ahead of time, and I made sure that I shared what I felt needed to be shared to be able to make impact.
Well, and that's where there's a big misunderstanding with the idea of being vulnerable. Like, sharing with somebody doesn't mean you have to share every aspect of your personal life.
Yeah.
Being vulnerable with someone, or letting somebody else in, or helping them on their transformation, and being that type of person that they can connect to, is about being open-hearted and listening to what they have to say. Yeah. And having that place where they feel there's no judgment. Like, it's not about necessarily, like, everyone thinks vulnerability has to be like you, like, literally like dumping. Yeah. I will, me, first of all, meeting them like, hi, my name's Laura. I needed sort of for 15 years. It took me a long time to talk about that in a way that I felt comfortable. But even then, that doesn't make me vulnerable. That is me sharing something. But it's about making sure that you give them a safe space to feel open.
Yeah.
So if you have gone through your own transformation, or you're going through it right now, don't look at this. We talk a lot about this too, about the idea of people think their story and their struggle is something that they should hide or wait till they're on the other side of it to help other people. And it's not. Your story and your struggle is your gift. Those are the things that are actually going to help you relate to people. Like I said, that it's basically like you're saying, me too, I understand. And maybe you haven't gone through the exact same situation, but by you sharing that, it gives them permission to do the same.
Exactly.
Which leads us into number 4, which is that you value a holistic approach. Mm-hmm. Now, this is something that I think is really misunderstood when it comes to people like, okay, yes, I want to be a nutrition coach. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I just want to focus on like eating. That's it. I don't want to talk to anybody else about anything else. But when it comes to health, and to be an amazing health coach, you have to value a holistic approach, which means approaching it from like
all areas,
the physical, the emotional, the spiritual. Now, when I say spiritual, I don't mean like religion. I'm talking about like energy and mindset and things like that. Mm-hmm. But it's something that you have to understand, because yes, you can change the way you eat, but if you change the way you eat and you don't change the way you think, and you're still self-loathing, and you talk really shitty to yourself, and you're like you're negative about your body and life, then is that health?
No, exactly.
Yeah. Or like you work out for like 2 hours a day, like
as like a punishment tool.
Yeah, as a punishment tool. Or on the outside,
you look great. Yeah, you're not healthy on the inside. Yeah.
Or you're like on the outside you look great, but then you're fueling yourself full of like really low calorie supplements and protein shakes that have no nutrition in them. Like there's you have to look at the whole picture, and you have to approach it from all areas.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So you have to value a holistic approach. And then that kind of ties into the next one, mm-hmm. which is number 5, is that you also believe that there is no one size fits all approach to health or nutrition. So this is the 5th sign.
Yes.
The 5th sign that you are meant to become an amazing holistic nutrition or health coach is that you believe that there's no one size fits all approach to health or nutrition. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, because even when I think back to the way that we used to approach things when, like, before we were certified, and even when we were first working in fitness, you know, our main focus was fitness. We didn't focus as much on the nutrition or the mindset or all of these other things. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, it was very, very different. And it was very hard. It was very hard.
It was hard. It was very like, it was just, all I did was work out. I really didn't pay attention to anything else to do with my health whatsoever when I think back to those days. And now I pay attention to, you know, like I have my rituals, my daily rituals of like my mindset stuff, which is like the meditation stuff, the practices, my affirmations, my, you know, my breathing techniques and things like that I focus on because I know that it keeps me balanced. And then I've got my physical stuff, which is like, you know, hitting the gym or doing a workout or doing yoga or something along those lines, but moving my body for energetically to make my body feel better. And then I have the nutrition component, which is probably my biggest struggle. And it always has been, because it's like, I like
a lot of people's.
That's the thing. I like eating really healthy foods. Like I love eating veggies and I love salads and I love chicken and all that stuff. But I also don't love the amount of time it takes sometimes to create things. So then sometimes I get into just like eating, just like, oh, I'm just going to eat like toast, you know, like, it's just like, cause I'm lazy. Like I just get lazy about it. And so it's just, I mean, it's just about prepping. It's just about planning ahead, and it's just about meal preparing and having the right tools too is my other thing. But anyways, we're not talking about that today. But
but it is like, this is the thing though. Like that's a perfect example of a no one size fits all, because there's so many programs out there and certifications, and people get very attached to what they quote unquote should and shouldn't do. So, you know, even for that, for someone like you, who's a mom and who is a business owner and who works, even though you work from home and you have all these like different elements, you're going to need a different program than, let's say, you know, this perfect diet that you pull out of Oxygen magazine. That's like, you know, 20 pounds in 20 days. This is what you need to work out. This is what you need to eat, blah, blah, blah. That is not going to work for you, because we all, when it comes to health, fat loss, anything, we all have different, first of all, lifestyles. We're all different ages, heights, weights. We have different hormonal health. We have different gut health. We have different histories of dieting. Like that's one thing I hear a lot, is that people are like, well, why can I not, let's use weight loss as an example. Mm-hmm. Why can I not lose weight? And I'm doing the same program as my friend, and we're following it both to a T, and she's losing weight and I'm not. Well, it's because you're a totally different person, right? Like you have a different hormones. You have a different background too. Like your diet history, if you've gone on multiple crash diets for year after year, if you've gained weight and lost weight, your metabolism is going to be totally different than somebody who has just done it once. Yeah. You know, and also if you're younger, you tend to respond better than if you're older. So there's so many things that play into it. Yeah. And so this is where I think that it's really important, especially if you're going to be a great health coach, is you have to realize that there's no one size fits all towards it. You have to look at each person and create individualized programs for them.
Can I just add in a little story to this? Because I'd like to share this with our listeners, because I think that I want to give them a perfect example of, if you are getting into this industry, or if this is something that fires you up the same way it did for me, then you definitely know that you need to get into health coaching. Because, okay, so Laura, you know this, and you already know the story, but the listeners don't. So about 6 months ago, I hired a trainer who is a renowned trainer, amazing at what she does. And I hired her to do a coaching program. And I was under the understanding that it would be a personalized program. And it turned out to be a bro diet, cookie cutter program. I had 2 days of different meals. That was it. I had my training days and then my cheat day meal plan. And then my non-training days, sorry. And then I had I had like 3 workouts that would last for a month at a time. And that was it. And it was so like, it felt so like copy and paste that it really pissed me off, because I was like, man, like I'm paying a lot of money for this, and I really thought it was going to be customized. And I remember reaching out to the coach and saying like, you know, this diet plan is cool and I could see how it could work. Obviously, if you're following this plan, you're definitely going to see changes in your body, but it's not going to work for me. Because not that the plan doesn't work, but the plan for me doesn't work. And that's the big difference, right? The plan would work for anybody because it's a calorie deficit, high protein diet. Like, of course it's going to work if you're trying to lose weight. But for me, it doesn't work with my lifestyle. It doesn't work with who I am and what I want for my day to day. And there was no flexibility. There was no understanding of that. It was just like, no, just make it work. And I was just, so then I just stopped doing it. And, you know, there's a big difference because for me, it's just like, oh, well, that sucked. You know, like it didn't change my course of like moving towards my goals and everything else. It just felt like a bit of a waste of money and time for me. But it, like, I didn't really learn anything from it either. Right. So it was super frustrating, but I was like, you know, one of the things I kept saying to you when I was talking to you is like, I just wish that it would have been more customized. Yeah. I wish that it would have been just something where it was like, okay, what are the foods that you actually eat? Cool. Now we're going to customize your meal plan based on those foods so that it doesn't feel like a diet. It doesn't feel like a program. It doesn't feel like a plan. It literally is just adapting what you are already doing and just making it a little bit better, enhancing what you're already doing to make it that much better to get you towards your goals. And that's all I wanted. And so I'm sharing this story with you guys because it's like, when you're thinking about the one size fits all, what I felt I got was exactly that. This copy and paste, one size fits all plan. It's just like, you follow this, of course you're going to lose weight because of the way it was structured, but it was not customized. And that to me, I think is like, I think it's kind of like a cheap way of doing business in this industry. And I think that a lot of people do it. And I think that it's not necessarily the best way to do business. And also just not the best way to serve your clients. So,
well, and
that's my story.
No, and totally. And I think that also leads into like one other thing I want to say about this point of like the one size fits all.
Yeah.
Is that we also get attached to these, just like these cookie cutter programs. And then of course, as human beings, we feel like, oh my gosh, if I didn't stick to the program, I suck. And that, even in your situation, that was the thing that was really bothering me when you were showing me the program. I remember I was like, I'm just getting really like heated about this, because if you were someone who didn't already have a knowledge of this stuff or didn't already work in this industry, and someone was coming at you constantly and being like, not asking you for your feedback, not, you know what I mean? Like when you're saying, you know what, I don't eat meat, I don't eat meat other than chicken, I need something that works with my diet. You can't just have a diet of all chicken, right? Like, or for example, or if you're like, you know,
like 6 times a day of chicken, I was like, I'm going to die.
Well, and also that's way too much of the same protein. And anyways,
I just can't eat that much meat. You know that. Like I was like, oh, it's going to make me sick every single day.
But also it's like, but these are the things that when someone's trying to make a healthy change in their life and they come up against that, then of course you're going to like throw in the towel. And for you, you already have the experience. So you're not like emotionally scarred by this, but like if you were someone who's your first time putting yourself out there, being vulnerable and saying, you know what, I am like, I want to make a change. I want help. I want to work with a coach. And they're basically telling you that you're unworkable, then, you know what I mean? Like it's not ideal. But the other thing I just want to say about the one size fits all too, in addition to that point.
Yeah.
The other thing, like you also, if you're a great health coach or you have the signs of being an amazing health coach, is you also don't buy into this one size fits all of this, like what I call the macronutrient diet of the decade. I recently was running a class and I was talking about this and I was like, because it's so funny. We have this like obsession with one macronutrient every single decade. It happens every decade.
We've talked about this. Yeah. Cause it's like, all of a sudden it's like the high fat, or that it's like,
well, where are we? That's what I said.
It's always the one thing, but it's all like the same because it's all just whole foods. Like it's just, sorry, I won't interrupt you, but it's just, we've talked about
but it's like in late 2000s, the high, like the diet of the decade or the macronutrient, and macronutrients, guys, are proteins, carbohydrates, and fats.
Yeah.
Right now, the macronutrient of the last like 5 years is fat, right? The keto diet, everyone's like, you got to go high fat, fats aren't bad, blah, blah, blah. Well, no, fats aren't bad, but they're not also a magic cure just to go crazy excess on the fats. And then, you know, before that it was high protein. So it was like the paleo diet and the Atkins diet, which in its essence, the paleo diet was an amazing diet. And even was Atkins, but we of course like take things as soon as there's,
and it's like, okay, well I can eat a pound of bacon.
There's like the original diet, and then there's the one that people then create
the modified to make it livable.
Yeah, and the next thing you know, you're consuming
that's
20,000 pounds of steak.
But I think that's why people they adapt them though, right? Because they like look at like the original plan, the original meal plan or the original diet plan, and they're like, all right, cool. That's hard though. You know what? I'm going to like make it my own, and I'm going to be like, okay, I can eat bacon every day. I can eat a pound of bacon every day and still lose weight. I'm in, right? Because it's like
I saw someone the other
find
day.
a way to like adapt it to make it your own. It's like when we did my favorite diet of all time ever, hands down in my whole life, was the low fat, high carb diet, but Susan Powter would stop.
Which was the one before, It was the high carb before the high protein.
It was my favorite hands down because she was like, eat potatoes every day. So what did I eat every day? I ate like 20 potatoes a day. Like I was eating potatoes and I was like, yeah, I just want to live my life. And just like, this is it. Like, this is living life for real for me. Like I could eat potatoes daily. I was so happy. But like now when I look back, I'm like, man, like I really didn't have very much variety in my life. I literally was just eating those egg white dipped potato wedges every single day.
No, and then so even the other day I was working at a Starbucks and I saw someone eating, they're on keto diet, and they were eating a tub of full fat cream cheese, the whole tub with a spoon. Because of course you can eat super high fat. Now I'm not saying before people start messaging me, and I'm not saying the keto diet is 100% bad. It's a every
diet has a good purpose.
It has a good purpose as a dietary strategy, but for the majority of people, this is not a doable lifestyle. So if you're ever like, go back and listen to one of our past podcasts where we talk about the difference between the high fat and the high carb diet, which one won. It's very interesting. We talked about this really cool study, but yeah, so it's like they were eating, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
Isn't that supposed to be put on bagels? I don't even know. Like I don't eat cream cheese. I don't know what it is. Really.
Well, in the keto diet, they make all these things called fat bombs, where they literally put like sugar-free syrup and they turn the into like cream cheese bites. I don't know. But but the whole thing.
Sorry for anyone who likes that.
But this is what I want to say though about the whole idea of the no one size fits all, is that it's like when you are someone though who says keto is the only way to lose weight, or paleo is the only way to lose weight, or vegan is the only way to eat. You are someone then who is not, I believe, is not, I shouldn't say meant to be a great health coach. You can be a great health coach, but you need to shift your mindset because we are all so different. The way that we respond to food, the way that we respond, our lifestyles are, where we're at in life. And when you start trying to paint everyone with the same brush, it's like anything in life, you're going to start to, you're going to start to alienate people. And also you're going to start to try to fit people into your box versus helping them find their path that works for them. Like I've had clients who literally, they thrive so great on higher carbs. I've tweaked diets where they were eating high fat. We pulled down the fat and increased the carbs, and then their body started responding. So it's like
high carbs.
Yeah, like everyone has different ways of, responding to things. So
I sound like a carb maniac. No, but honestly, like what you were saying though is so true, because it's like, if, I truly believe in order to be a great coach, you need to be able to understand and adapt to all people. Like I know for me, I'm like, if someone is vegan, I want to be able to work with them. If they're vegetarian, I want to be able to work with them. If they are into more of a high fat, like that just works better for their body, or it's just their preference, I want to be able to create that. I don't want to just say like what I got, which is like, here's your bro diet, follow this and eat chicken 6 times a day. And I know it's making you feel sick and it's totally not working for you, but eat it because it's going to get you the results. Because even if I would have followed that plan and I would have done it and I would have got those results, how would I have felt by the time I got to those results? Maybe superficially, I would have been like, oh, sweet. I have like, physical appearance good. But inside, I would have felt like garbage because I hate the way it was making me feel. It was actually making me feel nauseous all the time because I was like, I don't eat that much meat. My body doesn't like it. That's why I don't eat a lot of meat. I don't like it. I've never really eaten a lot of meat. So it's like, I can't go from eating it once a day to 6 times a day and eating double the amount per portion. Like that was crazy. But if you're not listening to your clients and you're not paying attention, you're just trying to get them to fit into that box because it's like, but this will get you the results. Are you truly actually helping them with their health? No, you're just helping them maybe superficially. And is that really worth it? No.
And also you're not helping them to be able to actually create a lifestyle that will work for them.
Totally.
Because in all reality, the only diet that's ever going to be successful is one you can stick to. And that's it. You know,
That's it.
it's one,
100%.
it's not one that you're going to be like, I can be on this. I'm going to do this for 3 months to get ready for bikini body season. Because what ends up happening is you will rebel afterwards and you will go back to the old habits and your body will go back. So
like that person eating the cream cheese, like, do you really think that they would be able to
they're
do
going
that
to be doing that
for the rest of their life?
Exactly. So the real secrets to being an amazing health coach is understanding your clients and then being able to create a plan that actually works for them. And that you can then tweak and, you know what I mean? Like massage and their lifestyle and everything around it that then they can grow with, they can take with them if they're on vacation, they can do it with when they're older, they can, you know, have fun
like, I think,
kids.
Yeah, like I think you can have like set principles that you follow with every client, but you have to be able to like, you know, like you said, like massage it and like make it so that it flows with those people. But you can have like set parameters of like, okay, but like,
well, totally, and that's what we teach
always
in the
train
program.
this many times and everything. Yeah. Exactly. But it's like, but if you don't have that kind of flexibility in your mindset and you just feel like, no, it has to be this one size fits all, it has to be this mentality, then you're really going to struggle, I believe.
Yeah, because a coach is there to not impose on you, like on the client, what their belief system is, or, you know what I mean? Like, or just tell them their knowledge. This is something that I see a lot with new coaches is they're just like, I want to tell you everything I know. And I don't want to listen to anything you have to say. And it's like, okay, great. I know that, you know, eating salad every single day, like big bowls of salad is great for me, but I have no time to chop 8 pounds of veggies. You know what I mean? Like, okay, great. You know what? I'm going to give you some options. Go to the store, invest in some extra takeout, get pre-made salads, blah, blah, blah. You know, like that's what a coach does is here's their client instead of just saying, well, no, you need to meal prep and you have to do this. So do it. You know, it's not about pushing your agenda on someone else. It's about obviously taking your knowledge and the principles and the structure and then working it in a way that works for the clients. And that is the way that they're going to stay with you. You're going to grow your business. You're going to get great results. You're going to feel better as a coach because you're helping other people. And then, you know, the sky is the limit.
Yeah.
So the last one, so those are our 5 signs. We'll go over them in just a moment, but we do have one bonus sign that you're meant to be an amazing health coach.
Yeah.
And that is that it's kind of interesting, but it's that you love the idea of what is possible in this industry.
Yeah.
Because this is one of the industries, nutrition, health, wellness, fitness as well, anything to do with around the healthy body, healthy mindset, that is not going away. No matter how many, you know, robots come out or how many pills or injections or things like that, there are certain things that we cannot run away from or we can't buy for ourselves. And that is our health. Like, you know, I wish sometimes I could pay someone to go to the gym for me. I can sit here and you go do my workout for me and I get the results. You know what I mean? Or like, I can eat this cheeseburger and you can, like, you know, drink the green smoothie and I don't have to deal with the aftermath of that. But unfortunately, that's not the way it is.
Like
but the good news is in the coaching area, this means that there is so much opportunity for you in so many different areas. Like, it's not like you just have to coach someone one-on-one.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like, you have so much possibility because it's like, what I tell people always is like, as you're beginning or as you're learning, even as you're going through the education phase, pay attention to what lights you up, what excites you the most. If you're doing assignments, if you notice that you're always drawn to like reading recipes or like taking recipes and tweaking them and healthifying them, like that's just something that you just do on your Saturdays or whatever, like then maybe recipe development is in the cards for you. Like maybe that's sort of like the direction that you might want to go to. Or like if you find that like, you know, you love just sharing your knowledge and sharing like your stuff. Maybe it's blogging or something, or maybe it's all of the above. Like the thing is that you don't have to be stuck in just one box in this industry. You can do all sorts of different things. You can like expand as long as you have the knowledge and the certifications and the education behind you to support you. You can expand into any area that makes you excited, and it can continue to grow and evolve. Just like, I mean, how our business has evolved and grown over the 10 years. Like we started off with fitness boot camps and we ran retreats, and then we did at-home fitness systems, and then online training programs, and now an online education platform. Like we keep following sort of this path of like what lights us up and what excites us and how we can make more and more impact in the world. Right. And so it's the same thing with health and wellness. It's like, if you're a health coach, if that's what you love to do today, but then in a year from now, you're like, oh, this is like, I love like my Pinterest board and this is like my thing. Like, go big on that then. Like, pay attention to that. That's cool, right? Like, you can make a living on all of these different platforms, or, you know, if it's not like that your full-time gig, you can still fulfill that passion inside of you and make some extra income doing this. Just don't eliminate one side just because you think you have to.
Well, it's going back even to what we were saying about sign number one. If you know, look at what you're naturally drawn to. If you love nutrition, if you love it, that's already a sign that this is an area that maybe, even if you don't want to necessarily ever build a business out of it, but you want to learn more, you want to take to the next level, then that is a sign. And then, as you were saying, like, then pay attention to what it is that you like. Like, we've had some of our holistic nutrition weight loss grads. So like, some of them do one-on-one coaching. So they do one-on-one weight loss coaching. We have other ones that do group coaching, and they do it in person, or they do it online. So they like the running group programs. So they run online group programs for weight loss, in-person group programs. We just recently had one of our grads who, she actually got a job for a wellness website. She now is doing all of their recipe development. Mm-hmm. Then we have other ones who they run retreats. They're doing health retreats, holistic health retreats, where they include nutrition and lifestyle and supplements. So there's like, literally, there's so many different things you can do, but finding the thing that lights you up, that you like to do the most, from workshops to one-on-one coaching to, you know, anything, that there's so much opportunity, whether it be in person or in the online space in this industry. But if you're somebody who loves that idea, I know for me, that was something I always loved about the idea of coaching and getting into having my own business, was just like that I could create whatever I wanted to with it. Yeah. And of course, we talk about and evolve all of this stuff too. Yeah. And we talk about all this stuff in our programming. Also with FitChicks Academy, we also talk a lot about business and helping you guys, of course, create your own business as well. So it's an area that we are super passionate about, because we believe that the more health coaches that are out there, not only are we going to help you guys as women start to live your passion, but we're also building healthier communities, right? We're helping the world on a bigger level, because if you can change your health, if you can change your fitness, your nutrition, your mindset, you have just participated in the best preventative medicine that you ever could take. Like, you're not just teaching somebody how to make a smoothie. You're teaching somebody how to take control of the trajectory of their life, which is a huge thing.
Oh, man. I talk about this a lot. I'm just going to add to that. Like, you know, I think that being a health coach or being a fitness coach is so underrated in the world. People see it as like, oh, you teach fitness? Cool. But it's like, no, guys, like, I help people change their lives. Like, this is, I feel like, why do I get so emotional lately? I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I start tearing up. I'm so weird.
Because
I'm so weird. Passionate about it that I'm like, like, I get really like, anyways. But it's just like, you truly are actually helping someone change their life. Like, if you can help them figure out a plan and some tools to be able to take with them for the rest of their life that they can implement, that is not just that stupid fad diet or that bro diet or that thing that they have to like struggle to do every single day because it's not natural to them, and you can help them be in a holistic way that it becomes this natural progression in their life. Yeah. You can help them live a healthier life, a better life, and not only them, but everyone that surrounds them, because everything that, like, when one person does something, people are just naturally attracted to it, and they just start like evolving in the same way, even without even like a conscious decision. You see it. You see patterns all the time. You see people like, when they start being more active, all of a sudden their partners join them, or they're, you know, like, even met me with my husband. My husband's like, now he eats super healthy. When I first met him, not so much, you know, but it's like, it's this natural evolution that just happens by association, essentially. So if you can help someone change their life, you're going to help them, but you're also going to help the people that are around them, their loved ones, change their lives too. And it's so important, but it's so underrated in this world.
No, completely.
It frustrates me a little bit.
No, and I totally agree. It's like the things in life that we tend to, you know, we live in a society right now where it's very easy to think, well, I could just take a pill, or I could just get a surgery, or I could just do whatever. But the thing is, guys, those are all short-term fixes. Yeah. And unfortunately, they 99% of the time will not work for the long haul. And they have a ton of other repercussions. And these are things that can be actually transformed by changing such small things. but they're such big things and they're so misunderstood. And of course that goes into the holistic approach. It's got to be from the foods we eat. It's got to be from the mindset that we have. It has to be about managing our stress levels and getting sleep and taking supplements that support our body, not of course, like taking it after the fact. So like there's so many things that go into it, but the cool thing is these are all tools and skills that are learnable. And even coaching too, if you're listening to this and you're like, okay, and I'm going to go through the 5 and you're like, okay, this is me. I checked yes to everything you were talking about. You're speaking to my heart. You guys are like, literally, this is what I think about.
Yeah.
And that includes that you love learning about nutrition and health. So like you're naturally drawn to it. It's something that you're just totally like, you just find you're constantly reading about it, like articles, YouTube videos, you're like following people on Instagram that are all into nutrition and health. That's something right away. It's a sign that this is your passion. If you're the go-to person in your group, that people already come to you and ask you questions. And like I said earlier, it could be that they're asking you questions about nutrition, about holistic health, or it could be that literally you're the coaching them, you're the person who plans the trips. But if you're in any way a go-to person in any aspect of your friends or family's lives, that means that you do have a natural coach inside of you because you're taking leadership and you're making plans for other people. Thirdly, you have experienced your own transformation or you're going through it right now. And that of course makes you more relatable. And that's where you're going to be able to say like, I know what it's like to be like this. And also you'll come at it from a different place. When you've gone through your own transformation or your own struggle with something, you can speak to it from such like a heart-centered place, as opposed to just like, oh yes, I read in this book about what it must be like to deal with, weight loss.
Yeah.
You value a holistic approach. So, you see that it's not just about the food we eat. You see, it's not just about how much we move. Your body's not going to be in balance like that. It's about, you can't be thinking poisonous thoughts and you're filled with stress, but then you're eating healthy and you're working out. Like it has to be a balanced approach. And then lastly, you believe that there is no one size fits all approach to health or nutrition. So that means that, you totally get it, that we're all amazing individuals who have different needs, different lifestyles, different mindsets, different paths, and we need plans that work for us. So that was our 5. So if you're checking yes, all of those, and then of course our last bonus one was if you love the idea of what's possible, because there's so much opportunity in this industry right now. It's crazy. If those are the things that are speaking to you, then this is the point where you have to step into it. This is something Amanda and I talk about a lot. And this year is like our main goal is to get women unstuck. Yeah. And if you feel this in your heart and you want to be a part of this movement, you have to take the next steps.
Yeah.
And of course that's to become certified.
Yeah. You need to take action. You need to just make a decision to stop waiting around. Stop waiting around for the right time. Stop waiting around for like the right opportunity. Stop waiting around to like see what else is out there. Like find something you connect to and make a decision to move forward and take action, because clearly your heart is speaking to you, but you have to be open to listening to it and then actually take that necessary step. Because without action, nothing will come to fruition. Like you literally will just sit there and every day think about it and think about it and think about it till you drive yourself mad. So just take action so that you can actually start to implement some of these things into your day-to-day living.
So that was our quiz for you guys. Hopefully you answered yes to most of them. And if you didn't, then that doesn't mean that you're not necessarily meant to be a health coach. It just might mean that you're not yet at that place, or there's a different way that you could coach. So like we were saying earlier, maybe you are going to be a recipe developer, or, like you're going to run retreats. It doesn't mean you necessarily have to be like a one-on-one coach.
Yeah.
There can be different ways that you're sharing that information, or maybe you just really want to learn about this stuff for yourself to make you better and your family better, and all that good stuff. So that was our quiz for today. Hopefully this gave you guys some insight into yourself, into the path. And make sure that underneath this video, or you can go to fitchicksacademy.com to download our brochure for our Holistic Nutrition Weight Loss Expert Program. It's a 30-page brochure. It's going to take you through all of our upcoming holistic nutrition and health coaching certification that we have at Fit Chicks Academy. It's so awesome. We have hundreds of women from around the world going through it. So we're seeing such incredible results. We've got a ton of testimonials there as well. But definitely click on it, download the brochure, learn a little bit more, and let's make this world a healthier place.
Awesome. All right. Thanks everyone for listening.
Talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.